Did you know that in 1987, a Buick was faster than a Ferrari Testarossa? I'm not kidding. GM actually built muscle cars in the 1980s that could destroy supercars costing 3 times more. The proof? A stock 1987 Buick GNX ran 13.4 seconds in the quarter mile, while the Ferrari managed only 13.8 seconds. Today we're counting down the 11 rarest GM muscle cars of the 1980s. Machines built in numbers so small that finding one is like winning the lottery. Let's get started. Number 11, 1985 Oldsmobile 442. Picture this. It's 1985 and Oldsmobile engineers are sitting in a boardroom knowing their beloved rear-wheel drive muscle is about to die. But instead of going quietly into the night, they decided to build one final warrior. Only 3,000 of these beasts ever rolled off the production line, making them absolute unicorns in today's collector market. Under the hood, that 307 V8 pumped out 180 horses and 245 pound-feet of torque through the classic 442 formula. 4-speed automatic, 4-barrel carb, and dual exhausts that could wake the neighbors 3 blocks away. The silver metallic paint with gold racing stripes screamed pure 80s swagger, while inside, leather-wrapped everything and bucket seats that hugged you tight completed the premium performance package. This was Oldsmobile's defiant middle finger to the front-wheel drive future that was coming, whether they liked it or not. Number 10, 1987 Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS Aerocoupe. Here's something wild. GM's engineers weren't just building street cars, they were literally creating NASCAR weapons that civilians could buy. Only 6,052 of these aerodynamic monsters were ever built. And here's why that matters. That massive sloped rear window helped these exact cars win 18 NASCAR races in 1987 alone. The 305 small block delivered 180 horsepower through F41 sport suspension that could handle corners like it was glued to the asphalt. Those 15-inch alloys wrapped in performance rubber weren't just for show. This was genuine wind tunnel-tested racing technology sitting in suburban driveways across America. Every morning, you'd walk out to authentic NASCAR engineering that could cruise highways all day and dominate stoplight wars at night. This wasn't some weekend warrior with racing stripes. This was the real deal that proved its worth on America's most competitive racing circuits. Number 9, 1986 Pontiac Grand Prix 2+2. Here's a heartbreaking story of automotive ambition meeting cold marketplace reality. Only 1,225 of these NASCAR-inspired street machines were ever built because dealers literally couldn't sell them. Pontiac wanted their own Monte Carlo Aerocoupe, so they created this dramatic fastback with that massive rear window that could slice through air at 122 miles per hour. The 305 V8 under the hood delivered 180 horsepower, and while 9.3 seconds to 60 wasn't drag strip domination, this car was engineered for high-speed stability, not stoplight wars. That unique aerodynamic design was pure NASCAR technology, but here's where tragedy struck. Priced $2,000 higher than Chevy's version with a tiny trunk and rear seats that turned into ovens, buyers just didn't get it. Most ended up at factory auctions, sold for massive losses. Today, that commercial failure makes survivors incredibly special and valuable to collectors who understand true automotive rarity. Hey, if you're loving these rare GM gems, smash that like button and subscribe for more hidden automotive treasures. Number 8, 1983 to 1984, Oldsmobile Hurst Olds. When 2 legendary names team up, pure automotive magic happens. The Hurst-Olds partnership had been creating incredible muscle cars since the late 60s, and these final editions were their swan song. With 3,000 built in 83 and 3,500 in 84, they marked the emotional end of an era for both companies that defined American performance. That 307 V8 wasn't the biggest engine around, but it had serious character and soul. What really made this car special were those lightning rod shifters, 3 chrome levers that let you manually control the first 2 gears of the automatic transmission. It looked absolutely badass mounted in the center console and made every drive feel like a drag strip run. The paint schemes were pure automotive theater. Menacing black with silver and red stripes in '83, then flipped to elegant silver with black and red accents for '84. That functional hood scoop, aggressive rear spoiler, and classic super stock wheels screamed performance even when parked. Number 7, 1980 Oldsmobile 4 Fort 2W30. The year 1980 was absolutely brutal for muscle cars. Emissions regulations were strangling performance, insurance companies were killing horsepower, and most manufacturers were throwing in the towel. But Oldsmobile wasn't giving up without a fight. Only 886 of these warriors were built, making them genuine unicorns in today's collector market when everyone else was building pathetic economy cars. Based on the Cutlass Calais platform, this was no ordinary grocery getter. It packed a genuine 350 cubic inch V8 when others were downsizing to weak V6s. Those color combinations were absolutely perfect. 540 came in menacing black with gold accents that looked like automotive jewelry, while 346 wore pristine white with gold trim that screamed understated elegance. The W30 badges on the front fenders were like secret handshakes among muscle car enthusiasts. You knew exactly what you were looking at, even if casual observers remained clueless. Rally suspension, sport console, and raised white letter tires on aluminum wheels meant serious business. Number 6, 1984 Pontiac Fiero Indy pace car. Sometimes automotive history happens in the most unexpected places. The 1984 Pontiac Fiero Indy pace car became the first four-cylinder engine to pace the Indianapolis 500 since 1914, and only 2,000 lucky people got to own a piece of that incredible history. Every single one came in striking white paint with the complete aero kit that made it look like it belonged on a racetrack. Sure, the 2.5-liter four-cylinder with 92 horsepower wasn't going to win many drag races against traditional V8 muscle, but this car was never about straight-line acceleration. It was about pure innovation. Pontiac's audacious attempt to build America's first mid-engine sports car in decades. That revolutionary plastic body panels over a steel space frame was cutting-edge technology that nobody else was brave enough to attempt. Every time you climbed into that race-inspired cockpit, you were sitting in genuine automotive history during an era when Detroit wasn't afraid to dream big and attempt something completely revolutionary. Number 5, 1987 Buick Grand National. They didn't call it Darth Vader's car for nothing. The 1987 Grand National was pure menace on wheels. All black everything from the sinister paint to those menacing wheels that looked like they belonged on a stealth fighter jet. But here's what Buick's marketing department didn't want you to know. They were flat out lying about the horsepower numbers, and the performance proved it. Official rating? A conservative 245 horsepower, real dyno tests. Closer to 300 horses with enough torque to snap your neck and embarrass Corvette owners at every stoplight. 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds made this luxury sedan quicker than most sports cars, costing twice as much. The genius was in the complete deception. Soccer mom saw a nice, respectable Buick sedan perfect for grocery runs. But gearheads knew they were looking at a legitimate street weapon. When that turbo spooled up with that distinctive whistle, the transformation from mild-mannered luxury car to absolute performance beast was absolutely complete and devastating. Number 4, 1987 Buick GNX. If the Grand National was Darth Vader, then the GNX was the Death Star itself. Only 547 were ever built, making it rarer than most exotic supercars from Ferrari or Lamborghini. Buick partnered with McLaren, yes, that same McLaren that builds Formula One cars, to create the ultimate expression of turbocharged American muscle that could embarrass anything on four wheels. That hand-built turbo V6 was massaged by McLaren engineers to produce an official 276 horsepower rating, but dyno queens were consistently seeing over 300 horses and 420 pound-feet of tire-shredding torque. The quarter-mile times were absolutely ridiculous. 13.4 seconds at 104 miles per hour, which made it quicker than the Corvette, Ferrari Testarossa, and virtually every exotic machine money could buy. McLaren didn't just tune the engine. They completely reworked the suspension with torque arms and panhard rods, then fitted those distinctive mesh wheels that became instantly recognizable. At $29,000, it was expensive, but some owners literally paid for their cars by winning weekend drag races against unsuspecting supercar owners. Number 3. 1989. Pontiac Turbo Trans Am 20th Anniversary. Here's where rarity becomes absolutely insane and borders on mythical. The 1989 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am 20th Anniversary had a total production run of just 1,555 units. But here's the mind-blowing part that collectors go crazy over. Only 40 hardtops and an incredibly rare 3 convertibles were ever built. If you've ever seen one in person, you've witnessed genuine automotive mythology come to life. Pontiac took Buick's legendary Turbo V6 technology and stuffed it into the Trans Am's sleeker, more aerodynamic body. The result was nothing short of spectacular, America's fastest production car that year. 0 to 60 happened in just 4.6 seconds, quarter-mile times of 13.4 seconds at 101 miles per hour, and a top speed of 153 miles per hour with absolutely no electronic nannies to save you from yourself. What made it even more special was the handling, weighing 100 pounds less than the traditional V8 Trans Am. It carved corners like a precision instrument while delivering devastating straight-line acceleration that left Corvette owners scratching their heads in disbelief. Number 2, 1987 Chevrolet Camaro IROC-Z 1LE. This is the holy grail that most people don't even know existed. Only 111 of these track-focused monsters were built in 1987, making them the absolute pinnacle of IROC-Z collecting and rarer than virtually any exotic car you can name. This wasn't just a regular IROC with some racing stripes slapped on. This was a purpose-built track weapon designed to dominate professional racing. The 1LE package was serious business. 350 TPI V8 engine, heavy-duty radiator for track cooling, lightweight aluminum driveshaft, performance rear axle, Bilstein performance shocks, and aggressive 16-inch wheels wrapped in sticky racing tires. But here's what made it truly hardcore. No air conditioning, no power steering, no radio, no creature comforts whatsoever. Weight was stripped out everywhere possible for maximum track capability and lap time performance. These cars were built specifically for SCCA showroom stock racing, and they absolutely dominated the competition. The problem was nobody wanted to buy a stripped-out, uncomfortable Camaro for daily street use, so most went directly to serious racers who used them exactly as intended. Number 1, 1989 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am 20th Anniversary. This is where automotive history gets absolutely insane. Picture this. Pontiac engineers in 1989 doing something that seemed impossible. They took Buick's legendary Turbo V6, stuffed it into the Trans Am's sleeker body, and created a car that could outrun Corvettes, embarrass European imports, and pace the Indianapolis 500, all while looking like it came from the future. Here's the kicker. While everyone else was obsessing over bigger V8s, Pontiac went the complete opposite direction with forced induction and computer controls. The result? A car that delivered exotic performance with surprising fuel economy, proving American engineering could still innovate when it mattered. That devastating mid-range torque, sublime handling, and seat-pinning acceleration represented the absolute peak of 1980s American muscle car genius. There you have it, the 11 rarest GM muscle cars of the 1980s. These machines prove the 80s weren't just about surviving the emissions era. They were about thriving and innovating in ways that still blow our minds today. Thanks for watching. If this brought back memories or taught you something new, hit that subscribe button and join our community of muscle car enthusiasts. There are so many more hidden gems waiting to be explored, and I can't wait to share them with you. Until next time, keep the rubber side down and the memories alive.